What's up guys, we're back with an Epic 7 Thursday video. So today we're just gonna focus on the raid Labyrinth, which is the one with the spiders. There's a normal and hell raid difficulty. You'll need to beat normal difficulty first before you unlock hell raid difficulty. So for the first time beating the raid bosses, you actually get an additional piece of equipment along with whatever equipment they drop. You get one for each boss. And each boss has their specific drops that they have too. So it'll be like, for the dark spider one, it'll be the scythe or this chest plate. I think they all have two pieces that they might drop. Only one per boss though. So one equip, level 88 equip per boss, and then you also get one more if it's your first time completing one of each of these. And they also have a level 67 version of that for normal raid too, so it's nice to just go beat all those bosses at least one time too. So for normal raid, you'll need 2 Labyrinth passes to enter, and this resets every week. So I'm right in the middle of the week, it resets in like 3-4 days. So the main goal for normal is to just kill the queen. In order to get to the queen, you have to kill the left and right bosses first. The bottom 2 bosses aren't available yet until you beat 2 bosses, which is the left and right ones. But if your goal is just to farm hell raid and you don't care for level 67 equipment, then you just want to kill the left and right bosses and get to the queen and ignore the bottom 2. First run usually beats one of them and it can clear the path like almost to the end of them. So we beat the boss on the left and we made it all the way here. My team has 35 morale, so you need probably roughly that to beat both bosses and the queen in 2 runs. So my next run's gonna beat this boss, go straight to the queen, and beat her. The point of doing the normal difficulty, like I said first, is to unlock, but it's also good to do it just because every time you beat the queen, you get one of the keys for entering hell raid. Also, you could, pick up something here too. Probably the speed gear is what I would recommend. Or if you don't care about 67 equipment, you grab this too. I don't know, my gear RNG is pretty bad. This is kind of good for just, tanks or healers. And this is the end of my second run, so I had to walk all the way back to this guy to kill him, and then walk towards the queen. Did the camp already, and I had 10 morale to spare before going to -30. Once you get to -30, it's not playable. The stat loss is just too great, 85%. Yeah, that's the difference from raid Labyrinth and normal Labyrinth. You can't go below -30. So you probably actually only need a 30 morale team to do a 2-run normal difficulty to kill the queen off in 2 runs. Yeah, this 2-run thing is definitely like a little more optimized, a little more late game. So your team has to be kind of strong enough to, beat all the bosses and have morale. So here are the rewards for beating the second run, and I beat the boss on the right and the queen, so I get their equipment. Along with this is the entry ticket for the hell raid. Of course, if it's your first time beating normal raid, you might not be able to beat it in just 2 runs. So 3-4 runs is definitely okay, and you might even need the morale just to do it. The extra stat boosts that you can get by having more morale. There's just like an optimized strat that I think is better if you can beat normal raid with 2 runs. So assuming you do 2 runs every week, that'll be 4 Labyrinth passes towards that, towards getting 1 bug charm. And then there's also 1 more bug charm to grab every week if you want to get this. Costs 3 passes, so that's exactly 7 that you would need every week. So that means you get 8 of these entry tickets for Hell Raid every month. But the thing is, you only need 5. So the way that Hell Raid works is actually every time you beat a boss, the rest will just burrow away and hide. That's why you actually need 5 tickets for every month to complete Hell Raid. So it's up to you how you want to collect those 5 tickets. You can also buy them with the ancient coins, but I'd rather save that for rings and necklace charms to upgrade your equipment instead. But for people doing Hell Raid the very first time, you'll actually have to walk the whole path to get to the boss, and you might have trouble like managing your morale. So you might actually need more than 5 tickets. So ever since they made it so that you can only beat 1 boss per entry ticket, You're allowed to create specific team compositions per boss, which helps a lot. And these bosses are going to be much harder than the normal difficulty one. And you can test all you want, because as long as you yield, your entry ticket will never be consumed. So you can have lots of time to test which teams work and which don't. Once you complete your first time, you actually just teleport right behind to the boss. And then after that, you would probably just want to clear the map for the mini bosses that have items to pick up. The mini bosses do have a chance to drop level 88 equipment. So once you can do hell rate kind of consistently, definitely don't forget about the mini bosses. I'll put the maps link that I like to use and some other useful tools in the description, so make sure to check that out. So I was just gonna go over quickly how like the bosses work, but they have an in-game guide for all these bosses already, kind of. Yeah, probably not super in-depth though, these guides, but alright, so for the Dark Spider, as I say, yeah, you just want to focus on the minions. You want to kill the minions off. It's gonna be same. I think same fights as normal raid. So if you're done normal raid, it's like you should know how to fight these guys, right? It's just a harder version. But for those who haven't done raid at all, the Dark Spider, you just want to kill the minions first, and then once the minions are dead, he's gonna shoot web, and then his defense goes back to like normal. So if the minions are still alive, he's gonna be like really tanky. You're not gonna do damage to him. So kill minions, and then the minions heal him too, so definitely don't let them live. Kill minions, and then you kill that guy. He also can't buff while he's out of his shield phase, so just do your buffing before he takes his turn to get out of his shield phase. The red spider is really annoying actually. Yeah, AoE is important, but then they don't mention that they always try to debuff you, and then if you attack him while he's debuffed, essentially whenever you miss versus this guy, right, he's gonna do a counterattack on you, and he hurts. Like he can really just one-shot or two-shot your allies. That's just like the golden standard for all of these bosses. You always want like a cleanser, which is, you know, a Momo. She's just probably like the best free-to-play healer, and you still want to use her even if you're a whale. It doesn't matter, she's just that good. But yeah, if you have a debuff on your hero and your hero tries to attack, I think they miss almost all the time. Yeah, it's increased chance of evading from debuff enemies and counterattacks, but from what I've seen is basically 100% chance you're gonna miss, and he's gonna counterattack every time. So definitely bring a cleanser, you don't want to deal with that. That also means don't bring grass units versus this guy, because he's gonna dodge their attacks 50% of the time naturally. This wood worm guy, he's gonna lay a bunch of eggs, and then if you try to attack him with a single target DPS move, he's just gonna spit rocks at you for like a ton of damage. So what you want is actually to kill the eggs first, and then you can attack him. Either that, or you just attack him with AoE attacks, and then he won't do the rock counter attack. You don't want the eggs to hatch too. And then once he goes to like half health, he's gonna try to turn into an egg himself or something, and you have to burst him down before he completes the egg cycle. And if you do let him complete, he's just like a stronger version of himself. But if he doesn't complete it, he'll just be in like a weakened state, and you just finish him off. He's got like 2 minions with him though. The swarm bug guy, yeah, so they did say poison. Yeah, it's like stacks and stacks of poison. Again, bring a Momo, and then, you know, Tamarin's good for all these bosses too if you have her. She's just super useful. Cleanser immunity, I guess, as they say. But what they don't mention here is you don't want to debuff this boss too, because if you try to debuff him, he's just going to turn your debuffs into buffs for himself. It'll be a random buff for himself. So don't bring debuffers. You can't debreak him. You just have to just do damage to him. The queen's probably, yeah, the queen has to be the hardest fight. So she'll do lots of debuffs, so you always want your Amomo around. And you need to dispel her too, because every time she attacks, she gets like attack and defense buff. And if she gets 2 turns, it becomes a greater attack and greater defense, which is really tough to deal with. She's gonna hit very hard and be hard to hit as well. So you need to dispel her. That's just, it's a must. So, you know, bring Charles or a Roz, someone that can dispel. Yeah, these bosses are quite late game, so if you can complete like Wyvern 13, maybe Wyvern 11 actually, Wyvern 11 to 13, if you're around that area, you could probably just consider starting to try these bosses, and then if you can farm them every month, they give pretty good equipment, because level 88 is that tier above the level 85 stuff that you get from Hunt. And if you want to know how I usually do these, it's mostly just these two, A Momo, Tamarin, and then I would usually just get Sermia or single target DPS, and then some defense breaker like Tywin, or if I need a dispeller for the queen, I use Charles. That's my team comp for the queen. It's these two, Sermia and Charles. Then I'll just mix and match depending on how the bosses are. Sermia is probably always going to be the third man. So 2 healers, Sermia, and then the fourth one is kind of like the wild card. Gotta fill in the other roles that I need. BlueStacks is actually so slow for me, so I'm not going to show any of the raid bosses I'll fight. But I'll just roll for this Amazon equipment. So yeah, see what we get. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. This equipment was pretty dookie. So the weapon, yeah, only attack is really useful for crit damage set. So the only good piece might be this helmet. We have crit damage and crit chance. If it rolls high into those two, it's okay. But 2 defensive substats as well is just no good. Then this chest piece, basically garbage. And the shoes roll for health, which is awful, but yeah, what do I expect? This free equipment stuff, it's all just a gamble, but I guess worth a shot, right? That's gonna be it for this time, guys. Kind of a scuffed Labyrinth video, but if you guys have more information that you want to know, just let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.